Hey everybody, this is Jim Grzanzio from the Oracle Groundbreakers team, and I'm here for a conversation with Rich Niemiec, Oracle ACE Director. This is a part of the Oracle Groundbreakers YATRA series of interviews that we're doing over the next couple of weeks. And so, Rich, welcome to the program.
Hey, great to be here. How you been out there?
Doing really well, doing real well. When I met you, actually, the first time I met you in person actually was in India just in December. But it seems so long ago considering where we are in the world right now. But you gave a fantastic ending, like a keynote, and it was like a conference ending keynote on leadership and community interaction and stuff. And I loved it. It was really long and detailed and comprehensive. The room was full. Nobody left. It was great. And so I really wanted to have a conversation with you here now because you're going to be doing a talk at this upcoming conference actually tomorrow, right? So let's start off with your talk. We'll talk about the leadership later, actually, but let's start off with what you're going to be talking about tomorrow.
Sure. Tomorrow I'm going to talk about 19C new features. And the problem with most people is they get the new database, they put it on, and then they move on. They're like, okay, that got through the upgrade. That's great.
It's that easy to do. You can just move on.
It's that easy to do,
Okay.
and they have some advances with the upgrade process that makes it extremely easy. But there's a missing part, and the missing part is you were maybe on 12C, and you should move to 19C. Most of our customers are moving to 19C this year, or have already moved to 19C. But you really have to look back and say, am I using the 12C features that Oracle gave me, like pluggable databases or in-memory or online features so that the database can always be up? Or as I go to 19C, maybe I didn't stop at 18C, but am I using features like autonomous database? Am I taking advantage of those now new features with pluggable databases and in-memory? And then as I get to 19C, something people may be unaware of right now is that Oracle will give you 3 user-created pluggable databases without having the multi-tenant option. And they're doing that in 19C because in 20C, non-multi-tenant or non-CDB architecture will no longer be supported. So that's a big thing. And it's a big advantage to be able to use pluggable databases because it makes it easy to move things around. But they also have things like auto indexing. I have a pluggable database in the Oracle Cloud through Autonomous Data Warehouse and also one through Autonomous Transaction Processing. And Oracle is upgrading that automatically. And it will use machine learning such as auto indexing to ensure that the new version will be as fast as the old version. And then I'll look at some of the features in 20C, some of the auto machine learning things that are coming out, just so as you get to 19C, you ought to be thinking about preparing for 20C. So I know that's a lot of stuff, but it's a master's class, so it's pretty deep.
Cool. So is this like an hour-long session or longer?
It is a 90-minute session.
90-minute
So
session.
it's a little
Wow.
longer.
Okay, so in 90 minutes, you are going to go in depth.
Sure.
You mentioned autonomous. I don't really have a good sense of this. How many developers and customers are actually using all these features for autonomous now?
Oh, there are a volume of customers that are on Autonomous Database right now. And the big advantage is, let's say you have a system in-house and it's pretty big and you say, well, it's going to take me a while to move this to some cloud if you want to do that. And you don't have to do that. But you say, but I have these developers that want to use machine learning and they want to go after big data. They want to go after IoT data and they want to merge that with my data for maybe I want to classify the customers I have and then go look out in the world to see if there's customers like those. Well, now I can spin up Autonomous Database. It takes about 3 minutes to provision it. That's it.
So, okay, so maybe
and
even
I can
I
look
can
at
do
that
this.
data. Yeah, and then after that, you just start to merge that with the data, and you could do some machine learning. Machine learning is built in. Oracle, maybe one of the biggest announcements Oracle ever made, as far as I'm concerned, is Oracle Machine Learning in December became a free option. And it used to be I would say, quite expensive option. And it's actually amazingly powerful.
That
So to
sounds
me,
that sounds familiar, like some of the announcements that were made in India, actually at Sangam. Um,
yes. Do you know that that's one of the places where Jenny Sy Smith
right,
actually
Jenny.
announced?
Right.
She actually was announcing that that became free, and I was in the audience going, "Oh my goodness, this is amazing."
Her talk, actually, now that you bring up her talk was interesting because it also was very long and detailed and had so many announcements at it. I had to get with Sandesh later and say, okay, explain all the 10 different things that she just spoke about. It was a lot. It was some very
Sure,
serious things.
sure,
um,
and I might say my talk and DBA's, you have to focus on things like machine learning. Sandesh, most of his talks were talking about, hey, you used to manage the database, Autonomous will tune it for you. If there's a security patch you need, it'll put it automatically. But you need to start focusing on these future things like machine learning.
Yeah, interesting. Okay, so let's switch gears a little bit and talk about
Sure.
the community. I've noticed in your bio and just actually from what I've observed in you, you do a lot of community work. You've done a lot of user group work in the years. And so, what does community mean to you? I mean, you've started user groups and you've run them. So, you must have a passion for this.
Yeah, I do. I think when I came into the computer world, the mainframe people were like, stay out of this room. And it was like a glass room where nobody could go in and they didn't talk to you and they kind of looked down upon you. It was probably up another foot and they kind of looked down upon you as you went in there. And what do you want? And then things started becoming decentralized where you could do much more on a PC or a server or something like that. So I wanted to ensure that people had a place where people would share the knowledge. I thought that was something that humans do that really make life better for everybody and also pulls the best out of everybody. I always felt like, everybody could be Michael Jordan at something. You just
Right.
have to find out what that something is. Hopefully God points you in the right direction. I'm sure he would. And, you start to, develop that skill. But if, people are pushing that down, it's not going to help you. So a user group is a place where everybody shares knowledge and none of us is as strong as all of us.
Interesting. One of the I used to be the Open Solaris community manager at Sun, and so I've had a lot of experience building communities from the user group level. And what I've always found that it's a very empowering thing when you can contribute
Oh yeah.
to a community because you get so much actually back, and you make
Oh,
so many friends globally. And so I'm going to be doing a talk actually on community building at the conference. So I wanted to get your
oh, great.
feedback. So,
Oh,
um,
that's fantastic. No, I think it's the most important thing. Like I say, as you help each other, you're going to be educated. Anytime you teach anything, you're going to learn it better than you've ever learned it. People are going to ask questions you never thought of and give you ideas you never thought of.
right. Which actually begs the next question. One of the things we used to do a lot of work with was at universities and even some high schools as well. Over in China, and these incredibly young people are very advanced in their engineering skills. I was always very, very amazed with this. And
Sure.
so, someone in your position, you're an Oracle ACE director. Do you have any tips for younger people? Actually, two levels of this for younger developers who are just coming up as early as high school and obviously college. And the second level is specifically the Oracle ACEs. What can they do? Or people who want to become an Oracle ACE, someone who looks at you and says, yeah, that would be a cool thing to be recognized for.
Sure. Well, I think first of all, if you're a young person, I think the most important thing is, work on your leadership traits. You know, do you have integrity? Are you honest with the people? Your skill, become better at it by listening to other Oracle Aces, Oracle Ace directors. Are you an unselfish person? Do you have that courage to jump up there and be shot down if you don't do well, because you got to start and be very bad at the beginning. When I was a speaker early on, my wife would say, they had recorded me and sent me a tape, and she goes, "Oh my gosh, this is so bad. I'm going to have our kids watch this when they misbehave." She goes, "You're just so boring." And I was like, wow, I got to work on that. So you just got to be more enthusiastic, you know, but,
Yeah.
be that person who works on those character attributes like initiative. And I also spoke at Chitong University, and it was
Oh, in China. Yeah.
technical, but yeah, but they also let me do the Uncommon Leader talk. And that's why I
Really?
went there, because I wanted to share that information with the next generation. And I think this is something also unique that I've seen in India is they are very big at sharing the information. So you have a lot of people
Yes.
you can learn from. And then after you do that, now start, go give a session at a very small user group, maybe even internally at your company, maybe to your tech group. Then start to branch out into those larger talks. And then make sure you get somebody maybe from Sangam, somebody like Sai, to watch your talk and say, hey, what's some constructive criticism you can tell me? And you'll get better. And then you
Right.
might start writing some articles after that. And next thing you know it, you're going to be an ACE associate.
Cool. Cool. Um, all right. So you're giving a very comprehensive talk on 19C new features tomorrow.
Sure.
And you've given us some great advice here for young developers and for future ACEs. And what's up next for you? I mean, are you doing a lot of these online conferences and things?
I really am. And I think because there's so many online conferences, you do a lot worldwide because
Hmm.
of that. So I'm doing those all over the world. Probably the next one is going to be more on Converged Database and some of the advantages of Oracle with media, whether it's OLTP, whether it's data warehouse data. Oracle has started to take advantage of the fact that they can handle every kind of data and they do it securely.
Cool. Cool. All right, Rich. Well, you're based in the Midwest someplace, right?
In Chicago.
Chicago. Okay.
Hello, hello from Chicago.
Yeah, I actually have some family out there, so I know Chicago well.
Great.
All right, Rich, thank you very much. Appreciate your time here tonight. Well, it's actually evening for me, and because I'm in actually Osaka, Japan. So thanks a lot for your time. I'll be looking at your talk tomorrow, hopefully, if it's a good time for me, and we'll hopefully catch you live maybe next year or the year or the year after.
Great talking to you, Jim.
Okay, thanks, Rich.